Ravens, we taking over!
Hi sporting fans, it's here. Club Twilight is now open. Check us out on Sideline Dam, north side of the public road. All weekend, starting 6 o'clock this evening. 4 banks beer, $1,000. 5 GT beers, $1,000. Come and enjoy a spanking new and comfortable atmosphere. Popular music and popular DJs. Cutters on fleet. Yes, Club Twilight, your new entertainment zone. Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Come out and have a blast from 6 o'clock this evening. The weekend has started.
Ravens, we taking over!
Conniving morning, when you had your pocket full, in a bill tell me morning, now because your money done, you hustle for tell me morning. Yes, morning, neighbor, morning, neighbor, morning, morning, neighbor, morning, morning, I don't want you conniving morning. Neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money neighbor, money neighbor, money, money neighbor, money, money. I don't want you conniving money. Oh Joseph for me.
is Free Talk Friday. Toes gonna get mashed. People are going to be angry. People are gonna get skin up. People are going to get called all kinds of names. It is not what you're called. It is what you answered. Keep that one in mind. What do they mean when they say we are racist? One of them messaged me yesterday. The only word in this message was racist. What do they mean when they say we are racist? First and foremost, they misunderstand the use of the word racist. You can't blame them because they don't understand the English language. And it's a difficult language to understand because it's patchwork. They take some from here and some from there and some from there and they made a language, they call it the English language. So if there are people who don't understand the native language perhaps, or they understand in the English language. The other day one of them sent to me what he thought was a correction to tell me the word is morning and not morning. So I had the pleasure of responding that I'm aware that the word is morning. But I had to ask if he knows that the word is sit, or sit down, as we like to say, and not sit down. Right? So usually when you're looking for that splinter in my eyes, you must look for the log in yours. And so when you call me racist, you must look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, is this man anywhere close to me? Does he behave anywhere close to me? I noticed one who I suspect to be one of my classmates on the live yesterday, I think. And he said, Kidaki, I look at you every day. Good morning, Ramesh Prasad. I look at you every day. But I don't like when you talk about racist things. But I want to ask Ramesh this. Since we went to school together, it means we were little boys alike. We went through the system together. After secondary school, I would meet you every now and again. We would run into each other. And we always have a happy meeting. Have you ever found me to be racist? Have I ever been wicked and vindictive to you or anyone looking like you? Have I ever discriminated you? Going to school, a favorite town for Indians was Koliwata rice, pork and spice, washibiti with dal and rice and so on. Have I ever said those things to you or anyone looking like you? I can sit here without fear of successful contradiction and say I have never. I have fond memories of going to school with Indian brethren, Indian classmates. I could call some of them off the top of my head. Ramesh Prasad. Ramesh Prasad. Roboni Ali, I always speak of Roboni Ali because that youngster disappeared. I think he went to Canada like Shiraz. And I never really heard from him or about him again. Roboni Ali. Roboni was small stature. We all went to school together. Ramesh Prasad, Roboni Ali. Harry. Harry is from Kitty. Right? And one of the things I can see is that from my recollection, I've always had good relations with my Indian classmates. As an adult, I worked at, what do I used to call the place? Atlantic Telecenter, ATC. Yeah. Feliz was my, Feliz, what's her name? Feliz what? Roberts? Is that her name? Feliz radio? It's in Jams and so on. Feliz was my training officer. I worked there and I left there having a wonderful relationship with Kevin Subdio. In fact, we call each other brother. If any of these guys or gals, like Supriya Suknandan Supriya and Vidya Ramnares and so on, if any of y'all could step forward or would step forward and say to me on this program that you found me to be a racist coon while we were schoolmates and even while we are adults, I perhaps would put the existence of this program on the line. Because unless you are looking at what I do from a racist point of view, as against a humanistic point of view, you have no grounds to label me racist. You know what I find racist? Me highlighting the fact that there are communities in this country that are discriminated against by the government, which is predominantly Indian. A government who has leaders who have unabashedly said that it's a coolie people party. A government which encourages Guyanese of Indo ancestry and, as far as I understand, pay folks outside of this country of Indian ancestry to call Afro-Guyanese black dogs and hungry belly dogs and so on. When I highlight their shortcomings, I go to communities, I present the evidence. This is what is happening over here, this is what is happening over there. And people of Indian ancestry, Guyanese of Indian ancestry, have the temerity to cuss me out for highlighting that and for cursing out the residents of those Afro-Guyanese communities for highlighting their plight. That is what I find racist. Because by the exhibition, the exhibit, by the attitude, they say we are better than you and we deserve better than you. And you should remain at the bottom of the social ladder. That is racism. That is racism. In all of my pronouncements, I don't try to make black people better than anybody else. What I say is that we deserve equality. If you give the other man a pound of flesh, give us our just due of a pound of flesh. And if you guys see that as racist, well, sad for you. Very sad for you. I will continue to do it. Because as they say, every cow cries for its own calf. Every cow. Well, hot eye does make nose run water and vice versa. So y'all don't bother me. But it is a sickening thing to see citizens of your country are complaining of the denial of their basic rights, basic services. And instead of you cry shame at the government for doing it, you cry shame at the citizens for highlighting their problems. You are not humans. You're not humans. You're inhumane. You are like unto beasts. As Martin Carter said, beasts don't think. And that's what you are. You come here and you parrot every morning in support of a wicked and vindictive administration. That's what you are. Beasts. And so when I get in the mood and I cuss you out, I feel satisfied in my heart that I cuss you out. Highlight your shortcomings. Because some of you are just simple dum-dums. Parmanan Ramdial, crass. How can you get equality when a black government did nothing for black people? Well, what idiocy is? If I look for the word idiotic in the dictionary, I might find your photograph, Permanent. Right there, smack dab next to idiotic. In covering the issues of roads and infrastructure in these communities, I often see the question asked, did these roads get bad in 2 years? No, they didn't get bad in 2 years. Many of them were bad for 23 plus years. Many of them were bad for 23 plus years under the previous PPP administration. And like I keep repeating, the coalition had about 3 effective years in government. And while you are cussing the coalition to say it didn't do nothing for black people and it didn't do nothing for Guyanese and it did a darn lot. I explained yesterday. It spent approximately $3 trillion in 3 years. Or in 5 years. And it did a darn lot. Guyanese were experiencing a better quality of life. This wicked administration has spent a similar sum in just about 2 years. And we're not seeing the impact positively on the lives of Guyanese. So yes, those roads weren't bad. They didn't get bad in 2 years. They were bad for 23 years. And the coalition administration wasn't given enough time to get around to fixing them. But now we have a wicked and vindictive PPP back in office, and they're doing just what they were doing for 23 years. Neglecting African Guyanese communities. If I were a decision maker, because you look for value for money, and I had to decide who gets a road, I would choose to give scores of residents a road as against 2 households. Because scores of residents benefiting from a road, there's more value for money as against 2 households getting access to the road. I've made that case for Victoria and the Cove and John. I've gone into places like, what do they call it? Airstrip. Just at the back of Numprel and Enterprise. And I've shown you where there are roads that lead to nowhere. Paved streets leading to nowhere. But you're cursing African Guyanese for demanding that their infrastructure be rectified. And you're calling us racist? You're sick in your head. Gotta be sick in your head. It's Free Talk Friday. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. I am going to ask, there's a particular gentleman who wants to share some thoughts with us this morning. And y'all don't tell me talking too long because I'm giving that prerogative for him to talk. But I think he has spoken enough, I'll take him off the line. If you're listening to me, you can call. I don't even know his name, to tell you the truth. So he will have to introduce himself to you guys. But he has some thoughts, and sometimes every now and again I give viewers the opportunity to share their thoughts. A few weeks ago I allowed Coffee to lecture us on the Borby Slave Rebellion, 1763 and so on. Why not another brother, if he has something to share? Are you listening to me, sir, or do you want me to call you? I don't call people, you know. I'm not a talk show host that calls people and tell them what to say. Right? I don't have set up nothing. Let's go for it. I got some things to share with y'all this morning about the Guyana police force. I've always been saying to you that part of the problem in this country is that we got people who are involved in major crimes given the responsibility and authority to investigate major crimes. Right? And so they say every day bucket to go, well, one day bottom must drop out. What happens in the dark will come to light at some point in time. It doesn't always stay in the dark. Y'all keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. It doesn't always stay in the dark. The Guyana police force will remain a cesspit of misbehaviors for as long as you have a government which is willing to facilitate misbehavior on the part of its oligarchs, its friends and cronies. I will do anything to ensure that the police force is led by someone who will do the same for them. Yesterday we had a ruling on the challenge, Christopher Jones versus the government on the appointment of Clifton Hickins as acting commissioner of police. The ruling basically said the fat guy was within the right to do it. The government had the right to do it. Right? Following that ruling, a press statement was issued by Royce Ford. I don't know how many of you saw it. But it reads, having the highest regard for our courts, the acting Chief Justice, and the sanctity of our Constitution, I state the following. The decision delivered by the acting Chief Justice this afternoon in the matter of Jones versus Attorney General must be cause for great concern, and it is regrettable that it is to be considered as a judicial green light to unilateral appointments by the presidency and of course by Irfan Ali, the current president. The decision was strangely and eerily silent on the unilateral removal of the entire Police Service Commission by Irfan Ali, is preoccupied with the impact and purport of the then vacancy in the office of the Leader of the Opposition, without any consideration that the President failed to appoint the Police Service Commission for months, substantially contributing to the state of affairs that led to the action being filed in the court. On the court's own analysis, the failure of the President to constitute the Police Service Commission must therefore be an operating reason for the court-approved unilateral appointment of Mr. Hinton, presumably as much as the absence of a person occupying the office of Leader of the Opposition. It is disappointing that the court failed to recognize and or consider that state of affairs was created by the unconstitutional removal of the Police Service Commission and the failure by the President to thereafter constitute the said commission. Thus, the court permitted the President to benefit from his own failure to discharge his constitutional duty to appoint the Police Service Commission. It is unfortunate that the decision therefore saw the 30th day of March 2022 as a static and or singular event and not an ongoing continuum of unconstitutional conduct by the President. Further, the court by this decision has obliterated the material distinction between an acting appointment, which can only be made when there is a leader of the opposition and police service commission, and an appointment to perform the functions of an office, which can be made whether there is a leader of the opposition and or police service commission in place or not. The judicial merger of these two distinct types of appointments will cause havoc in our constitutional system and further weaken rather than strengthen the constitutional edifice of Guyana. The court proceeded to determine that the President could have acted in the manner he did as he was conferred with authority under Article 111 of the Constitution. Regrettably, the issue was not raised in any of the written submissions, nor was Counsel for Jones called upon or afforded the opportunity to address this issue. The impact of this judgment is too grave for it to be left standing. In the circumstances, an appeal will be filed to set aside this decision. In short, Royce Ford is saying, listen, we don't agree with the Acting Chief Justice's ruling on this matter. She has erred because there are lots of things that weren't considered, and we are going to file an appeal. And my belief is that this matter, like previous ones, will see its way all the way to the CCJ. All the way to the CCJ, and that's good. That's very good. That the opposition members are currently willing to go, as we say, the distance. Because critical to the rule of law, the upholding of the rule of law in any society, is who sits at the head of the Guyana Police Force. We know that there have been allegations against Clifton Hickens, especially in that murder of the three protesters on the Linden Bridge. We know that there are lots of other allegations against higher ranking officers. Right? Against higher ranking officers in the Guyana Police Force. There's sexual allegations, allegations of sexual misconduct, allegations of financial misconduct, allegations of the perversion of the course of justice in the Guyana Police Force. Currently, not so long ago, we are still faced with the issue of the murder of Quindon Bacchus. And there are several police ranks out there who participated in this murder, this operation that led to the murder of Quindon Bacchus, who participated in the perversion of the course of justice by giving false statements, etc., that have not been charged. They're walking the streets free like a lamb, or free as a bird, as we see. Not to mention that some of them have benefited from a promotion. And one asks the question, how is it possible that only some people have been charged and placed before the courts for this murder, while others who were complicit are walking free? Because the Guyana Police Force is now run like the mafia. The mafia calls the shots. Who should be charged and who should not be charged? What evidence should be made to disappear and what evidence should be made to stand? Who has connections where? It is my information that police rank Ruplal, who's one of the main proponents in the murder of Quindon Bacchus, has connections all the way up to the top of the government, including in the seat of the National Assembly. There's some relation between Ruplal's relatives or family, whatever, but they're not here. They're lost. And so you live in a corrupt situation, a corrupt world, where the police is not about maintaining law and order, but about following political instructions. And so citizens can't look to the police to be protected, nor to receive justice. My information on the murder of Quentin Bacchus is that it was a hit. Who don't know? There's a prominent businesswoman on Regent Street who operates 2 large businesses on Regent Street. That is connected to Freedom House. That has gold and diamond operations in the interior. It is alleged that the murder of Quentin Bacchus was ordered by that woman. It is alleged that the hired man was indeed Ruplal. It is alleged that Christophe and the others were brought on board because first and foremost, Christophe and Thurston, I think his name, the other guy charged with McLennan, who is from the vicinity of Golden Grove, could reliably identify Bacchus. And so they were brought on board. And the senior ranks were also brought on board because of the political connections and the big bucks that were on offer. Some will call it a conspiracy theory. But like I say, what happens in the dark will come to light at some point in time. When Paper Shirts was murdered, y'all remember when Paper Shirts was murdered? When it is alleged that the hit was aimed at Roger Khan in front of Palm Court, word on the street then was that $64 million was paid. I discussed that, I mentioned it on this program. $64 million were paid to destroy the evidence from the CCTV cameras, etc. That was word on the street. Word on the street is that the murderer is known. And the contractor is also known. That was word on the street. I dare say to some of you that what happened in the dark will always come to light. Or for the greater part, unless somebody goes to the grave with it. Just as policeman McLennan is alleging that he was set up in the Quentin Bacchus murder, there's a policeman by the name of Damien. Damien what? Brown? Or something like that. He was alleging that he was set up in a recent drug bust. But McLennan didn't go public with his story. Damien did. And so I'm going to share some of those recordings which were sent to me. I'm going to share them with you. And you be the judge. I'm only one of the conduits. I'm not saying these things. I'm reporting them as they were said in this instance. Let me show you exhibit number 1. This is a story from HGP TV 67. I want to say one of the more credible news channels in this country. Turn your eyes to the screen if you're only listening.
It could be that Police Sergeant Dion Bascom was in the wrong place at the wrong time when rounds from the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit Kanu raided the home of a well-known drug trafficker, Andre Clark. On Monday, Kanu officers acting on intelligence raided Clark's Norton Street residence and found 4 parcels of cocaine. Andre Clark, along with other 4 persons, were arrested, including Police Sergeant Dion Bascom, who Kanu confirmed was present at the premises at the time of the search. Reports are that Bascom, who was previously stationed at the Guyana Police Force's Narcotics Branch, had gone to the location to gather intelligence and to speak to Clark. Soon after, Kanu pounced on the location. Andre Clark, Akeem Lashley, Dion Bascom, Rodwell George, and Serena Mendes were arrested and taken to Kanu's headquarters with the narcotics. Kanu said that the narcotics was later tested positive for cocaine and weighed approximately 1.5 kilograms with an estimated street value of approximately 1.5 million Ghana dollars. Andre Clark, though, is no stranger to Kanu. In 2011 was arrested after Kanu rounds conducted an operation at Clark's home, where a search of his yard revealed a transparent plastic bag containing cocaine weighing 590 grams buried approximately 12 inches in the ground covered with sand. He was charged for trafficking in narcotics on February 3, 2012. Based on advice from the Director of Public Prosecution, the matter was dismissed. Since then, he has been a person of interest to the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit, and several investigations into his operations have led to his present arrest. This is Antonio Day reporting for the HEP Mighty News.
That's the first exhibit of this policeman, about this policeman.
God.
That's the first exhibit of this policeman, or about this policeman who was caught in this anti-narcotic, I don't know if I can call it a sting operation. But some are arguing that maybe he was in the wrong place at the right time, or otherwise, however you want to put it. But in his own voice, I'm going to play something in his own voice. Listen. This is what he said.
I should stay quiet and allow people to fuck with me all the time. You understand? But if I stay quiet, people will continue to do things to me, and I can end up dead. And people won't know the reason behind certain things. You understand? And the reason for certain things happening with me. Right? And I can let everybody know the truth about everything what's going on with me and with these people and with the Guyana police force. If I gotta walk back after today, I am key. Right? I give 12 years to the Guyana police force. I never one day sit down in Guyana police force. If I decide to go back and Google and pull up picture of people's family where I give justice, where people was murdered and so, and I go and give justice to the family, it will be a whole lot. Right? First thing I'm gonna address this issue with Kanu and me the other day, right? I ain't care who vex, I just trying to clear me side with this thing, because at the end of the day, me name and me family name, me Bascom name don't go out there, and they're staying, and people believe in their own things. I come for do what anybody else to do and clear the site, right? And when I done tonight, if the guy kill me, the guy do what the guy do, because I talking, what the fuck I know what get me into this. Any big people down there, I think them down here, I'm sorry for disrespect, yeah, by cussing or whatsoever, but I parch because I get in wrong deal all the time. And I got to talk going on. People tell me don't do it, I didn't want to do it, but I got to do it, right? I got to do it because me life in shame and in jeopardy and all kind of thing, and I ain't do nothing wrong. And I'm going to explain to y'all, right? And y'all please share this so you can get out of people out there. Because I ain't fear nobody. They tell me I'm gonna make it to 18, I live for me 33. Yeah, I might look like an old fucking 33, but I live for me 33. You understand? Now, this is what I want to tell people, right? I stationed in a secure right now. I was just turning back to work on Wednesday, right? I got a call from a friend who I know for a very long time. Since he used to ride bike on, we used to do the creek and so on, right? Now, what's he doing is his business. And as a policeman, I can tell you, he's not a policeman. I was sit down in an office or I was a traffic man, handing out tickets and these kind of things, right? As a policeman, I was fighting crime, right? As a crime fighting policeman, right? And when you're a crime fighting policeman, you working as an intelligence officer, and all if you pick up information, they got to socialize, they got to mix with all kind of people. Because hardcore information is come from being around hardcore people if you want to know things on the street. Because the finance man won't know a certain thing or you want things for thing crime. And for long I go back and watch crime fighters, right? Police crime fighters get treated like shit in this country. The easy one was get used, the big boy them is sit down upstairs, right? And when we go and solve the crime, they must get praised for everything that we do, right? When a murder solved, them is the one who was getting praised, them is the one who was looking good, right? The 6th of September coming, good make 12 years since they're in this work, right? When I come in this work, you'll ask, I'm squaddy from 298. I'm the only policeman I've been so serious with this work. I'm the only person that ever carry a horse at breakdown, right? Now, I want to get to what really make I come and make this live, right?
Now listen to this policeman. He's alleging that, first and foremost, he is stationed in Essequibo. He was called by a known individual to this location. And while there, Kanu came and he was arrested among the others. Note, he's saying he's an intelligence officer. And as an intelligence officer, you have to mix with the good, bad, and the ugly. That's a fact. That's how you go undercover. That's how you pick up information. He said his friend who called him, whatever the friend is involved in is none of his business. I give him 0 points to that particular statement. If you are a police rank, intelligence officer, anti-narcotic officer, and you're friends with people who are doing drugs, then you're complicit. Let's give you that. You're complicit. Right? I don't know if you are aware that this particular person, if you were, this person you were arrested with, is allegedly involved in the drug trade or what. Right? But let's look at this intelligence officer being arrested with this alleged drug dealer. What is the role of the Guyana police force in protecting the identity of this intelligence officer, number one? Investigating before publishing information about this intelligence officer who was arrested in this sting operation. What are the roles of the police in quote unquote ensuring that justice is done or appear to be done? What is the role? One would believe that they would have taken their time to do the necessary investigation before the public pronouncements, etc. It would seem that that didn't happen. Listen to the officer, Dion Bascom. And I have him on screen there. It's a grab from his Facebook page. And listen to what Bascom said on the 20th of July. You're born alone. You will die alone. This world just dropped a bunch of F-up rules on you to make you forget those facts. But I'll never forget. That's why I'm living like there's no tomorrow. Because there isn't one. I'm in an organization where I am seconds away from death and hours or days away from prison. But I choose prison over death any day because I could walk out of prison, but I cannot walk out of a box. How this world going now? You better have an F-up mindset because they have a lot of evil, wicked people there playing good. So you have to live by Moses' law. Ya you, ya me. That's reality. For now, it is not the time to smile and turn the other cheek. Suggest that there is a vibe somewhere with this policeman and the organization he worked for. Isn't that so? Suggest there was a vibe. And in vibing, just like it is alleged that McLennan got set up, maybe Dion Bascom got set up for vibing. But what is the vibe about? That's the question. What is the vibe about? Well, there's Bascom in another video. Like I said, I am only putting it out there. I didn't create it. I didn't create it. But it points to several issues in the Guyana Police Force which have an impact on the maintenance of law and order. And in any decent country, whether it's Scotland Yard or the FBI or the CIA or whoever, one of these international policing organizations would have been involved or invited to conduct a thorough investigation into many of these allegations which have been made against the Guyana police in recent times. Right? That's what I'm sure of. And any right-thinking citizen would want to have such an investigation take place. Right? Any right-thinking citizen would want to have such an investigation take place. I saw somebody saying earlier on the live, the opposition wanted Paul Williams appointed as against Hickins. Well, I think if that's what the opposition wanted, it was a principled position. Because in the hierarchy of the Guyana Police Force, Paul Williams is the most qualified, academically and otherwise, following the standing orders, the rules that govern ascension in the Guyana Police Force. He is the person who should be duly acting as Commissioner of Police. And so that is the opposition's position. It is a position based on principle. But here it is, we have an organization that is not operating on principle. For example, principles went through the door that resulted in the murder of Quindam Bacchus. Principle went through the door that resulted in the lighting a fire of young Peters in the Vigilance Police Station lockup. And there are many, many other instances. There are many, many other instances where principles went out the door. Kerry Perry the Parrot asks, who killed Monica Reese? They know that too. Don't think they don't know. Right? This is Friends and Cronies country, you know. Right? But I don't want you to ask me these things. I don't know these things. I don't know these things. Dion Bascom is a policeman. He apparently knows something which he wants to share with this nation. Yeah, listen to him.
One. She said, why take our bike on there? Right? She said, the mini gun. If you bike on the gun. We left when we went to park up outside by Mohammed Enterprise, right? Wait and see if he can come to work. And the man didn't show up for work. Right? He didn't show up for work. After he didn't show up for work, we left him go back to Mr. Caesar. And we tell you that we didn't find the guy. He said, all right, good. This is all he trying to say. And he left it like that. Myself, the officer, and the next officer, right? I trying to think them. We went back to Palm Court where the shooting happened. And we park up by the spot where the white car went. They use everything and destroy all the evidence and don't forget how fucking technologies work. You understand? They park up outside. We park up outside. The officer go up on the laptop and he take and he check the number. When he put in Mark Richmond number, it show that he was on the spot at the night of the fucking shooting of paper shots. You understand? And when they check the numbers he be making contact with, it show he be making contact with Azli Mohammed who playing the goodbye now for winning all arts. Right? It show that he been calling me. Right? After it end up showing that, the officer women to be get excited. I said, get him by telling them we use this thing, they don't want to use this thing. I explain to me what happened. Right? After that now, we left him go back to Ivlery. Nothing ain't going on. I was told, right, that don't tell Caesar nothing about this investigation, because the word is that he don't get $30 million, $150,000 for Mansadine for cover up this murder. Right? This is what I was told. I left them. I went to get some other information. I don't talk to nobody. I done fucking chip out already, here. They got to...
You tuned in Buxtonian morning time. It is now 13 minutes past 8 o'clock. However, that was Dion Bascom for you. A policeman who was stripped out, according to him. Is he spilling the beans? Is he making wild allegations? Is he confirming that people who are responsible for investigating major crimes are themselves allegedly involved in major crimes? I don't know. This is Kams TV. I can only bring to you what is brought to me. Oh my God. This country is a cesspit. And people who live, I am going to repeat it, people who live in countries where the law is paramount, where politicians have to be law-abiding, are sitting in the comfort of those countries and telling us we have the best government, and the government is doing what is best for the people of this country. Are we really getting the best representation from this government? Are we? Are we really being protected and served by the law enforcement agencies in this country? Or friends and cronies, oligarchs of the cabal, are being protected and served? I just am asking. As far as I'm concerned, these are allegations being made. But we can only, what should I say, test the merit of these allegations if we're going to have independent investigations. Vice News made allegations against the so-called Vice President Bart Jagdeo. But have we had any international agency being invited to test the merit of those allegations? No. So is our government really and truly interested in law and order in this country? Is our government really interested in law and order? That's up to you. Viewers, you must know. I don't know. I can only answer questions. I can only bring information as I gather it. Good? I don't know if you are going to call and say, why you show the thing, you're frightened, you're dead? Like the policeman said, we are all sure to go in that place. I don't know what a day of rejoicing it might be. The reality is, Guyana is a cesspool. Guyana is a cesspool. And we the citizens have a responsibility of pointing out where all of the wickedness and the nastiness and the stinking dirty exists. Right? There was a movie, I am trying to remember if it was called Serpico. with the bad boys police and the one police that was willing to bring all of them down because believed that they were doing an injustice against the nation and they were making police look bad. I'm not saying that would be beyond Bascom, but I just hope that there's one police out there who has the gall, the gumption, the willingness to come up against this police force and to expose them for all of the wickedness they're involved in. Right? You know what people are concerned about? The safety of this man because his identity is known. I'm concerned about law and order. If there's law and order in this country, then we are not to be concerned about the safety of that policeman. Because the authorities naturally would protect him because he allegedly, he claims to have information which might be critical to the solving of a crime. Right? I usually say in countries like the United States and so on, where y'all like to talk about all the niceties, they actually capture criminals and they study them to improve their crime fighting skill. They actually protect, they collect and protect criminals. They keep them in safe houses if they recognize that their testimonies are critical to convicting someone for a crime committed. But not in Guyana. We're not demanding that we get a better quality of service from our government. We're not demanding that. What we're demanding is that citizens stay quiet when they know of all the ills in the society. As against insisting that those citizens be protected so that they can contribute to making Guyana a better place. There's something else that was said in that video by Dion Bascom that y'all didn't pay attention to. Y'all only concerned who murder who and who get paid for murdering who. Did you recognize that the state is using technology again on a laptop? Did you recognize that? So the Khan is telling Roger Khan, the Khans are gaffing. Please listen to who killed your friend. When Paper Shots was killed, Roger Khan said it's his son. The relationship was that close. Right? Did you recognize that a state or an operative of the state in this particular police rank, whose name wasn't called by Bascom, he said himself and other officers, he didn't call anybody else's name from the police squad. But he said one of them went onto the laptop and they put in a certain number. And then they triangulated calls from that number. And the calls pointed in a certain direction. Do you recognize that similar software and technology that Roger Khan was being used, that was being used in the quote-unquote Roger Khan era? The era of the Phantom and killing squads? Did I say to you previously, and I continuously say, the Phantom and killing squads have simply shifted operation from one place to another? Terry Weeks, if you want to hear it again, go back to the live when it's finished and listen to it. I have things to talk about. Okay, folks. Those are the things we have to pay attention to. I said to you the other day that eNetworks is a spy center for the government of Guyana. Or the PPP, whether in government or in opposition. I don't speak idle thoughts. But like I say, while I'm in the dark, will always come to light. it will always come to light. Well, I believe, Faye, that if I have the recordings, they might have gotten it before me. Listen, I give due respect to Paulson and Clinton Conway, because they really are fighting for a modern and professional police force, where the leadership, at least of the police force, has credibility, and so they can pass on some of that to the lower ranks. But let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. But Guyana, unless the citizens recognize the importance of coming together and chanting down Babylon, will remain a cesspool, in the words of Donald Trump, a shithole country. 6225933 is the number to call. The lines are opened. Call and let's talk the thing. I agree, Ultra Max, that the technology available to police does a lot to improve crime fighting. It also does a lot to aid criminal behavior. Right? Every tool can be a good tool in the hands of the right people. Every tool can be a bad tool in the hands of the wrong people. A motor vehicle, for example, has tremendous utility to us if the operator is a considerate and careful operator. But if you put it in the hands of a wild hombre, it becomes a weapon of mass destruction. Such technology in the hands of PPP and their operatives can have dire consequences to the Guyanese people. Dire consequences. Dire consequences. And so when you have an irresponsible police force, you have to ask, should they be given the technology? Do you know how many of your calls are being listened to on a daily basis? Do you know how often your Wi-Fi signals are jammed because they don't want you to get access to information? Do you know, this is information I received from the same Quinton Bacchus trial. There were murder investigations and the charging of those 3 policemen and failure to charge the others. Do you know that a special branch of the Guyana Police Force can actually access your WhatsApp information? Do you know that? Yes. My sources tell me that you don't talk certain things on WhatsApp because they can listen to your recordings. I don't know if they can read your text, but they can listen to your recordings. How they do it, I don't know. But technology is out there. Do you know that the government of Ghana is using a software called Pegasus? We talked about that on this program. Are they using it for the good of protecting citizens and maintaining law and order? Listen, the United States of America, for example, I think uses all of these technology and perhaps much, much more advanced technology. But they are oversight bodies. You can't listen into people's calls, as far as I understand, as a law enforcement body without getting the requisite warrants and so on from a judge. In Guyana, any policeman who has access to the technology or the office where the technology is and wants to listen to his girlfriend talking to her lover will just do that. There's no oversight. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. are you do? You don't want me conniving morning.
Simon, can you guess what we're...
Good morning. Welcome to another program of Buxtonian Morning Time. It is now 7 hours 15 and you tuned in. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. Kindly share the live. This morning we're going to continue to talk about this big stinking dirty business in the Guyana police force, and we're going to talk about thoroughbreds being imported from foreign lands, and we're going to talk about the police failure. Yes, failure, that's what they are. Set of failures. In other countries, regardless of what the judge said, Hickins would have been made to resign. Yeah, Hickins should have gone into retirement, man. We demand the resignation of the Commissioner of Police Acting, Clifton Hicken. We demand the resignation of the crime chief. What's his name? Why don't I remember his name? I'm going to tell you just now. His name called, the Bascom called his name. We're going to play it again just now. We're going to play another version. Bladum! All of these folks should go home. They should be a mother of all investigations into the allegations raised in relation to the Guyana police force. This is not no story. This is not today's story. This thing been going on long. Good? There's a hint to Benny, but Mekwashi will take notice. I've been hinting to you guys long ago. Caesar is the man. I've been hinting to you guys long ago that there's a man in the Guyana police force who is responsible for investigating major crimes. That he himself is a major criminal. He himself is involved in the planning and execution of major crimes. Dion Bascom tell y'all I didn't say it. I didn't call him. Dion call him, I whistling. Right? How do you have a society that is grounded in law and order? How do you have a police force and other such institutions that citizens can trust for the investigation and solving of crimes, when at the top of these very organizations you have criminals themselves? How? Because just as how the politicians protect each other, yes, I said it, it wasn't a slip of the tongue, politicians protect each other. Just as how the politicians protect each other in many instances, criminals protect each other. You ask the streetwise and they will tell you, we don't snitch, snitches get stitches. A man commits a crime against you and you go on the street among his, let me call them colleagues, and you ask about him, they never know. Because they protect him. It is not that they are unaware of his crime. Some of them might even detest his actions, but they see him as one of their own. Right? And since they see him as one of their own, they protect him. And that is what is happening in the Guyana police force. Criminals are in charge, and so they are protecting criminals. I might not have gotten the figure right, but I tell y'all, I always get in figures. Ask Winston Jordan. I always get in figures. When the story of the $18 million broke, we all call it signing bonus. And I tell y'all, trust me, it wasn't a signing bonus. Right? I was among the first persons to hear of that $80 million. And since then to now, I knew it wasn't a signing bonus, because when I heard of it, my sources told me it wasn't a signing bonus. It was technically a gift from EXXON to the government and people of Guyana to fight that case that David Granger was preparing to take to the International Court against Venezuela. That is what it was. But we ain't discussing the detail. We're discussing the fact that I always hearing figures. The figure I heard then was $20 million. And I'm going to teach you all something tonight, this morning. And I asked Winston John, he said $20 million? Me know nothing but up. When I find out, I'm going to let you know. It's my good friend now. I am sure you regret ever making that statement. Because he had the opportunity to really clarify there and then that it was only $18 million. It wasn't 20. And it was for XYZ reason or whatever. It wasn't a signing bonus. Right? So when I came on the program after Paper Shorts more than y'all go back to that period of time and check my program and you're going to notice I said it. Right? I said it was, what, 64 or 34 million. I can't remember the exact amount. But Dion Bascom says it's $30 million. He says it's 150,000 US dollars. That's what that was paid to erase the crime, as we like to say. To disappear the evidence. And if evidence can be disappeared in such a sophisticated city, I know that I said sophisticated city. If evidence can disappear from such a sophisticated city, it means that there were many players involved. Many players involved. So the $30 million which Bascom alleges Caesar collected, one must ask his or herself, was it $30 million of one person? Or was it $30 million to be shared among co-conspirators? That's the question. Was that $30 million of one man? Or was it to be shared among co-conspirators? Let me talk about co-conspirators here. For those who are trenches and intellectually lazy, I'm talking about others involved. Others who were conspiring. Others who were hatching the plan. Others who were, as they might say, planning the crime. Right? The city is watched by CCTV. The CCTV feed is not controlled by the Guyana Police Force. The possibility is they get to watch, but it's not controlled by them. I'll tell you that. I don't know if that has changed, but previously, when an incident happened and they wanted access to footage, they had to basically make a requisition from the spy agency, as we call it. You got several spy agencies in this country, you know. They call them observation centers. One is at the back of Castellani House. Same compound, perhaps, with Kanu and so on. A new one was constructed and equipped behind the Artichon Convention Center. As far as I know, these agencies, this CCTV security apparatus is controlled from the National Data Management, or controlled by the National Data Management Authority, or whatever they call themselves. So they have monitors who look at screens, who zoom in and zoom out, who keep close tags on certain communities like Buxton. Right? Yes, the CCTV cameras and zone and drone. What we call the thing, man? Drone. And all of that, yes. They watch certain communities. And so they can see what's happening in the communities and they can preempt or they can react quickly to solve crimes. And so when the citizens were being told, look, nobody could trace this car from in front of Palm Court through the city to wherever it eventually ended up. I think somewhere on the Suicide Highway and burnt. It was totally foolish and stupidness they were telling people. And anybody who believed that had to be intellectually lazy. This thing happened on the borders of the head of state, the official residence of the head of state. What happened to the CCTV footage from those cameras? So I am saying, I'm sitting here beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I'm saying beyond the shadow of a doubt that if these allegations made by Bascom are true, then monitors to the CCTV cameras were paid. They had to be paid. Who paid them? If he's alleging Caesar collected $30 million, was Caesar the bagman for some of these monitors? Who decides who works on what night? Who was the shift supervisor? Who supervised that shift? Who selected the workers for that night? Were they paid too? Because you won't have any and every worker working that shift unless you could count on them to do what you want them to do. And so I'm saying we need a mother of all investigations. We like to use that term in this country to determine all who were complicit in the murder of Paper Shards and who the actual murderer of Paper Shards is. We don't know up until now. Names are being called left, right, center by Bascom. But until there is such an investigation and the evidence can corroborate Bascom's claims, they're not allegations. Good? But let's talk about the co-conspirators. So I'm saying, listen, those people were working on the night. Those people must have seen, based on from the observation centers, what was happening. Why they can't now find footage on it? Why they couldn't identify the perpetrators? So I'm saying, when you set up the investigation, find all of those persons who worked the night. Find their supervisors. Find the ranks that worked that night. Those who were under the direct supervision of Caesar, according to Bascom. And take it from there. You notice Bascom didn't call the name of the other ranks or rank who were or was with him in the vehicle when they used the laptop to triangulate a certain number. Good? Who are those ranks? Or are they actual ranks of the Guyana police force? Or are they members of the underworld? Or are they simply police informants? Who are those people? Find them and let's question them. How did they get a laptop with the capability of doing the same things that Roger Khan was able to do in the 2000s? Because in the 2000s when the laptop surfaced, we were told by the agents that they only sell it to government departments. And up until now, the allegation is that Leslie Ramsamy signed for it. But he never acknowledged that he signed for it. And there was no indictment against him for his involvement. Who signed for this new set of laptop or this particular laptop that this person used to triangulate the calls from Palm Court? Who? Is it a private individual? Is it a member of the government? How did they acquire the laptop? We want to know that. They can tell you state secret. It's national security matters. But people need to know how their national security is being secured. Is it being secured legally or illegally? Are we eating fruits from the poison vine and being fattened on it? These are things that we have to interrogate. $30 million, according to Bascom. Who were the beneficiaries? He is named Caesar. He is named Blanham. Let's talk a little about Blanham. We know so much about Caesar. Let's say give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. But in this instance, this Caesar has been taking more than is due unto him. And any investigation must get to the bottom of what is happening at the top of the police force there. The criminal investigation department and all of them. Crime chief and deputy crime chief and all of them. Because if they are not functional, right? If they are not functional, keep that in mind. If your criminal investigation department is not functioning, then you're solving no crime. Crimes will not be solved in a timely manner. How is it that we have smart city and we have all this technological tool watching over citizens and so on, and they can't say with clarity who murdered Quindon Bacchus? They can't say with clarity who murdered Quindon Bacchus. Another police sergeant, note another police sergeant, Sergeant McLennan, alleged that he was set up. Now Sergeant Bascom is saying that he was set up. Is it that they're out to rid the police force of certain sergeants? Or certain policemen who are determining that they are going to walk the straight and narrow way and do proper policing work? Is it that what is happening? And if that is what is happening, I mean, again, hint to be able to make question, will take notice. Our policemen, especially these young black dispensables, because that's what they're coming across as, dispensables. We use them, or disposables. We use them to do all our dirty deed, and then when we're ready, we just find a way to get rid of them. You're going to hear Bascom talk more about that because there's another tape which perhaps you have heard, but I would like to play. Right? So they can't tell you who killed Quindon Bacchus. A squad of about 7 persons, only 3 young black men were charged. The Indo-Guyanese members of that squad are all walking free right now. I wonder that maybe the technology doesn't identify Indo-Guyanese when crimes are being committed. That might be a possibility. So the technology might have, maybe is racist. Or is it being monitored by a racist? Or is it being monitored by people who are taking pay from racists? Those are all things that you have to ask yourself. Right? But let me ask you about this in this Quindon Bacchus murder. Is it possible that the crime chief or those responsible for investigating this crime took 150,000 US also? I wonder if 150,000 US, according to Bascom, is the going price for covering up murders. Because I said it on Friday. I don't know if you heard it. But my information on the Quindon Bacchus murder is that it was a hit. And the hitman who was hired to do the job is none of the 3 who have been charged and placed before the court. He's the one who they said is supposed to be under deep cover. And so the 3 of them had to cover for him and end up where they are. Ruplal, Ramatar, and all the others who were part of that squad must be charged as accomplices, as co-conspirators, as murderers. So my information is that this thing was a hit. And it involved somebody who is in business on Regent Street and has business in the interior. In short, it involves gold and diamond. And so if gold and diamond is involved, the possibility is that the payoff price could be nice. So is it that somebody got a stash of gold and diamond to not solve this case, this Quindam Bacchus case? It all points to one thing. If your police department, criminal investigation department, serious crimes unit, if they are not men of dignity, if they are not men of ethics, if they are not firm on the upkeep of law and order, your society will be just like Donald Trump said, a shithole country. Because they will not work to solve crime. They will simply be pawns of the crime lords. The Buxton is making such an allegation. Should we have an international investigation on this? Certainly, I think we do. Here is some more information I'm going to share with you this morning. There are crime families in this country that are sponsoring young men, especially young black men. They're godfathering them or grandfathering them, whichever one you want to say, into the Guyana police force. Into the Guyana police force. They're paying senior ranks in the Guyana police force. As a matter of fact, they have senior ranks in the Guyana police force on their payroll. They supplement their income. And so when they favor an ordinary rank in the police force for upward mobility, that rank gets upward mobility. That rank is grandfathered into a position to watch the back of those in the underworld. The criminal families who are doing it in this country. So you could say police protection is always for sale. Don't forget the days of the black clothes and Thomas Carroll. I would like to remind you of these things. The black clothes was the enforcers for Thomas Carroll when he was executing his visa scam and so on. I hope a lot of young people are on this program this morning because they need to understand the history of the Guyana police force and what we're dealing with here. Right? There are crime families who are doing that. I know many a young policemen, young black policemen, whose income is being supplemented by certain well-to-do business class families in this country. Just last December, for example, I received information that police ranks on Brickdam especially were going to Mohammed's Enterprise, I think it was, allegedly to collect a Christmas package of $40,000 each. Any of you are aware of that? Any of you on this live have police children or friends and relatives who collected $40,000 as part of the Christmas package from Mohammed's? Is that how a society is supposed to run? Is a society supposed to be run in such a way that businessmen and women can give generous donations to the crime-fighting agencies? What happens if these people run amok of the law? What happens? Are they going to be allowed to bite the hands that feed them? Ha 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 ha. Hold on. What I say? They say something about imitation being honor or respect or something. There's a Kadaki on this program now. If you're going to try to imitate me, at least learn to spell my name. There's a Kadaki too. So some clown is trying to oh Lord, imitate me, eh? Impersonation. Yeah, I wish you had luck. Anyhow, any of you on this program, because I like to corroborate my information. Right? I like to corroborate my information. Is it true that police ranks were able to get $40,000 as part of a Christmas package from Mohammed's enterprise last year and perhaps previous year? And these allegations, I dare remind you, are not different allegations that were made while Roger Khan was running the town. It was alleged that Roger Khan was paying the police force. It was alleged that Roger Khan was paying teachers, for example. It was alleged that Roger Khan was paying public servants. Are you aware of these allegations? Are they now being, are we now seeing, as we like to say, deja vu? Are these things re-emerging in our society? Nirvana Bhagwan didn't say I'm spewing a lot from my diarrhea mouth. I know what I'm spewing, giving a lot of y'all diarrhea. That's what I know. Y'all don't know these stories I know. Huh? Y'all don't know these stories I know. So who is getting paid to do what? Will you ever see justice Sequendum Bacchus? Or the price has been paid? Just as they say Christ paid the price with his blood for all your sins and it has been washed away. Was the price of Sequendum Bacchus' blood paid in gold and diamond? Citizens, the question is, now that you're aware of all of these things, what will you do about it? Because trust me, I can tell you this. The government of the day, whether you consider them legitimate or illegitimate, will do nothing about it. Right? Ivana Bagwandin is saying you don't even have a proper plate or cup to suit. Oh, you know I don't have a proper cup nor plate. Were you here when your mother and your sister visited the last time? Or they tell you? What will you do, citizens? It's clear this government will do nothing about it. Allegations were made by an international journalist or an international media outfit against, quote-unquote, the vice president. Have you seen the call or the launch of any investigations? I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any. So do you expect now that there will be any international investigation? I did promise I'm going to play another tape by this guy, Bascom, which many of you might have heard. But I'm going to play it for the purpose of analysis. We might go a little extra this morning. I don't know if you will get to speak, but I got a little extra. Listen to Bascom. And Bascom is telling you in this instance, what's his justification for doing what he's doing, or what he chose to do? Yeah, listen up. I gotta save my breath for just now. While I tried to contact Nirvana's mother and ask her how she could tell him or her that I ain't got the proper copper plate, when they know that they were eating in Pyrex and so on when they came here, as against the enamel plates. You know? Y'all listen up. Take note. All those of you are concerned about where this man is or his safety, I observed he was in a vehicle when he was making this tape. Maybe he's gone with the wind. I hope he's gone with the wind. To some safe place from which he can continue to spill the beans. Sing like a canary. Citizens need to get on the streets and call for an investigation of an international magnitude in this one. Looks like a troubled soul, eh? Yeah, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Things. I tell you before, he's not really a person who is make these kind of live videos and so on, right? But I come to clear up a few things this afternoon. Since this thing happened the other night, right? When I decided to speak out, I was a lot of people make it look like I lying or these kind of things, right? I wasn't lying about nothing. I stand to everything that I said in the life. Right? The reason for me for deleting the life is because my family was scared. But when I explained to them the reason for making the life, they understand. Right? So I come today to tell you the reason what make I speak out the other day. Right? I come and tell you the reason for me speaking out the other night. Right? And it had nothing to do with me being locked up by Kanu or nothing like that. And that's why the first thing I want to clear up. A newspaper said that that Kanu arrested me wrongfully or Kanu set me up. They said Kanu set me up. Right? Kanu didn't set me up. Kanu was doing the work. I just went to see a friend who is sick. My friend that was sick, he can't walk. He's pissed, sure bag. He can't come outside and meet me. I got to go inside here and see him. Right? I just want to clear it apart. Kanu didn't set me up. So the part where they said that Kanu set me up, I just want to clear the piece of me. If you could please clear the piece of me. I is the person that things happen to, and I tell you, Kanu did not set me up. I went in the yard to see a friend. Right? So I just want to clear the piece. Kanu get the work for do, them doing the work. For years I've been doing the work what Kanu been doing. So me ain't get nothing against Kanu doing the work. But Kanu take instructions for Mr. Blanum. There's another Sugun come and I talking the truth because he is we do to me. We take instruction from Mr. Blanum to put me in Diamond Lockup. And I was placed in Diamond Lockup. And they say I mustn't come out of the lockup and all this kind of thing. I get tricked like I murdered somebody. This is why I get tricked. And as a police, me supposed to go in no lockup. I supposed to go upon close arrest. I stated it already, not going to state it again. I come today for make a set of nice and go on bad. And that's simple and deal with things. Right? The next thing I want to also tell you that Mr. Blanum was responsible for me picture leaking out from Kanu because he tell them to put me picture out there. Because people writing can tell me that Mr. Blanham tell him to put me picture out there. And through all the things that I've been going through, being transferred, right? They said that I was transferred because I leak out information to Kaicho News about this guy Mark Richmond that threatened me, right? They said I got transferred because he leak out information about somebody threatening me, and I make no report and so on, and them didn't do nothing. Now, I just want the world to know that Mark Richmond called me on the 18th of May 2021. On the 6th of February 2022, this article ended up in Kaicho News 9 months after, right? And was a whole mix-up article, because the article said that we went by Mark Richmond 3 times, which we only went by Mark Richmond 1 time. The article said that the state Mark Richmond name a Shopman. Now, if I had given Kaicho News any information, they would know his name was Mark Richmond and not Shopman, because I know your name. And that's why I brave and bold for come and talk this. If I'd been talking to the media, I would be brave and bold to talk to the media and tell them his right name. I never wanted both to go out for a person from the police. It's most obviously the police would have put the name Mark Richmond. They want to put Shopman. Right? And explain everything. Now, I just want to show y'all something. Right? This is the said that I make up this story, right? I got a lot of evidence, right? A whole lot. But I can just show y'all some to clear up some points first. This picture, see this picture? Why y'all get a clear look at it? Right? You see this picture? Who's this person is in the background? This is Mr. Caesar, right? That is Mr. Caesar, right? This is the phone. Remember the other night when I talked to y'all? I said that Mr. Caesar tell me to flash this information from my phone. Well, I flash the information from my phone. Right? You see that? Now I'm going to show you something. I want y'all to watch this thing clearly. Right? Watch this thing clear. Right? I ain't care if they kill me. I can just be another dead man. People is crashing dead. Millions of people die from corona. So anything. I know I'm a family now kind of thing. I got COVID. COVID could have killed me too, and I dead and God. If I get shots dead, the same rotten you're rotten in. Right? The same rotten you're rotten in. Right? So if they kill me, they kill me. Right? Watch. I ain't fear nobody. Y'all take a good look at it. I want you to watch it. You can see the name Mark Richmond. You can see the number 697 8020 mark up there. This is Mark Richmond phone number. You can see your address, lot 43 Ben Street. Right? This is the information Mr. Caesar give me when he tell me flash his cell phone with the guy named Mark Richmond information. Right? Y'all seen it? Watch it. Lot 43 Ben Street. You see the name Mark Richmond and his cell phone number, right? 697 8020, right? You see the number, right? This is the information when Mr. Caesar thing for me and the officer for go the morning 4 o'clock for Mark Richmond. There's the address to tell you for go locate, when we locate it and so on. And we went to Ben Street. And when we meet there, I tell you that the man door went wide open and he brought stand up. Me somebody call he and think when you go in the bedroom, the clothes being pulled out as if he get a when somebody call you for tell you hurry out, like you hurry up for go somewhere, the clothes went pulled out of the wardrobe and some throw up on the bed. Right? When we walk in 4 o'clock in the morning, he tell me be sitting man down and rest the man, go for 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, this is the thing we come, he tell me flash the picture. You see the face in the background, you see the neck there. Cause there's a thing he sent to Mr. Blanham there. There's a other message he sent to Mr. Blanham. This information we sent to Mr. Blanham. Now Mr. Blanham tell the vice president that I make up this story because I want me gone, right? So I make up this story. How I get this thing from Mr. Caesar? This information. They watch the guy named Mark Richmond. This is one of the persons that's suing me. But Azudin Mohammed and Mr. Caesar, this is one of the persons that's suing me, right? Now, the next thing I want to address, the phone call, right? Remember tell y'all that Mark Richmond called me? This is the printout, right? This is the printout, y'all okay? This is the printout from me phone, right? Y'all seen it? This is the printout from me phone. Right? I tell you, after the guy called me, I call Inspector Sarabo Then I called Mr. Caesar. I didn't get on to him. I called Mr. Blanham. I did not get on to him. And then I get on to Mr. Caesar, who advised me to go make a report. Then I called Anais, who's a friend of mine, Sergeant Anais. You see the name of the top there? Then I got Mr. Caesar, Mr. Blanham, and thing, and then I got Sorabo. Sorabo, Inspector Sorabo, Mr. Caesar, Mr. Blanham. Then I get on to Mr. Caesar, and I explained to you that this man just called me and telling me don't go looking for you, so on and so on. And this is high profile matter we're looking after. And I feel threatened by it because me know this man get me number for call me and we doing an investigation, right? Watch Mr. Caesar, normally top there. This is when I get turned back to he, right? And he turned to tell me, like, go make a report, right? He said to go make a report. This is the report. You probably can't see it good because it didn't print out properly. This is the report that I went to make at Breakdown Police Station. They got a little Marine Constable. He's the person to take report from me. I'm going to try to forget it better, forget his name. Right? This is before Breakdown Police Station Bondong. But God, they keep me see you been coming with me because it's a good thing I end up flashing this report. Because Breakdown Bondong, the diary gone up in flames, right? The diary I make reporting gone up in flames. So it's like God went with me. Right? If I use my head, I flash this report. Right? So, Mark Richmond was suing me. I want to show y'all back again. Right? You see Mark Richmond number? 697 8020. The number that called me, right? You see the number here, right? This morning he called me, tell me don't go looking for you, so on. Now, Mr. Blanham tell the Vice President that I make up this story. Right? Because I want my license gun. He said, make up this story because I want my license gun. Watch it. 697 8020. You see when he called me. Right? Now, I'll show you back this another document here again. So y'all can see it good. This is the information for me and everything. You see it there? For Mark Richmond. You see it there? You see the number there? 697 8020. Right? Now, I'm going to address something else now. These men send me 3 summons. Right? These men send me 3 summons. Summons or liar's letter or whatever you call it. By the way, this is the guy Mark Richmond. I know him for years. This is the guy Mark Richmond. I know him for years. Watch him. Right? I know him for years. He's one of Azadine security. Right? I know he since I small, growing up, I know he for Matchfield Street. We know today in the green shop. I never know your shop, man. I even know your name. Because I just see your passy. Right? When he called, I see want to tell Mr. Caesar that I know he for Matchfield Street from his shop. So when he called me on the shop, man, the name Mr. Caesar, I started talking with him. Because when he called me, tell me he's shop man from Matchfield Street. Right? Remember when they tell me to go to Bench Street, I tell them, no, this man don't live Bench Street, this man live Matchfield Street, because I know he's from Matchfield Street. Remember the investigation we're doing? He said, go Bench Street here, the man live Bench Street. Couple days after, this guy get my number and call me and tell me don't go looking for him. Right? This is Mark Richmond. Something that I write up with Azadine baby mother post about you when you go for kidnap your son or something. There's a mark up on the picture there. I'm going to post it and left it on Facebook because this is minor evidence to what I really got. Right? Now, I come for a deal with this thing they send me about the but this liar come and bring by my house. I couldn't accept it, but I had to bring it because I noticed something, so I had to bring it, right? The first thing I get on 24 Dorman Street Lodge put it. That was one long years ago. Right? 24 Dorman Street Lodge is where they address these letters to, 24 Dorman Street Lodge. Right? That was one long since I went to the police college. It burned and I lose everything. I had to start all over again. The house burned and I had to start all over again. I come with when I parted from the police college, I come with a couple pieces of clothes. Right? Cause I work hard in the bush and buy things and so on. Everything burned up in the house. Right? So I had to start all over again. This is 24 Dorman Street Lodge. Right? I had to start from scratch. Now, all through this letter, I can show you. This one is from Azadine Mohammed. Right? This one's from Azadine Mohammed. He's suing me and he so I gotta make a public apology. Right? Within 7 days. Right? What I gonna tell you is, as the Mohammed, right? I don't care how much money you get. Use Nagard. And if I dare know, you still gotta call me. You understand? Because it's life short. You're not gonna live for the next 100 years. You still have to die. Don't come with twists again. Memories, life is memories. Now you do is building a little more than me. You're gonna left on the earth to build a little more than me. And then life is good and bad memories. Right? So you're gonna go through some hard times, you're gonna go through some good times while you're alive. If I dare, I don't dare, I'm gonna like everybody else. A lot of people die. You understand? So you're killing me and mean nothing for me. Right? But this is so, as he said me, say I gotta make a public apology or pay $25 million. Right? It's from a lawyer, Punai. This is from Michelle Caesar. Right? The same lawyer, Punai. This is for $50 million. Right? So they've done $75 million, right? This is from Punai, Mr. Caesar. The same lawyer as actually Mohammed, the accused, or what should I say, the mastermind. Right? The mastermind. And the chief investigator, you understand me, the person that investigated this matter, right? And the mastermind, you were the same lawyer. But look what Guyana to Mark Richmond taking me for $100 million. Right? Mark Richmond taking me for $100 million. The suspect in the matter. And guess what happened? The lawyer come and bring this thing to serve it on me yesterday. Right? With the lawyer bring all three this thing together. So come to get the police officer in charge of the major crime investigation unit, take the same lawyer as the mastermind of this thing and the suspect in this thing. All these people think come together. Now, already going on here. Right? The next thing I want to tell y'all, when that a big robbery, when it was the Mohammed lost them goal, right? Mr. Caesar and Azrin them me working on it together. I know who was moving around with them too. Mark Richmond. Mark Richmond was moving with them when they were doing investigation. Y'all stop playing like y'all blind. Right? Y'all don't hear his voice when they find the money was talking. So don't think that I come here for lie. And I want to tell y'all, so don't feel like talking. No, don't ask why I talking this now. I'm gonna explain everything to you at the time. Right? Don't ask why I talking this now. Or why I choose now for talk this. I can tell y'all why. Right? The reason why I choose now for talk this, I've been holding it till night time and people telling me don't do this, don't do that. I get a lot of victimization in the police force. I went to see Mr. EXXON. And Mr. EXXON chased me and tell me, he said he was the police, he know me for years. I trained when he was OCTSU. Right? And he see me sometimes, he's all about you getting too fat boy, you know? And them kind of thing. And I go to see Mr. EXXON and Mr. EXXON asked me if I was a police. And I say, yes, sir. The man said, don't ever come and see me again. He said, here I tell you, don't ever come and see me again. And then yesterday, Mr. EXXON put the officer from OPR, Mr. Beard, for call me and tell me that I must come and report to OPR. Right? Now, how could OPR investigate a matter when I mention Wendell Branham's name as one of the main persons of Mr. Wendell Branham? Listen to anything that Mr. Caesar tell you. Mr. Caesar been doing wickedness under Mr. Wendell Branham for years. Right? And when the OPR finished, right, the file or whatsoever to do, after go to Mr. Wendell Branham before it go to the DPP. Right? So how OPR could investigate this matter and call me for give them statement? The police complaint authority supposed to be looking after this matter. Or some international body from the USA or Canada or England or somewhere. Right? This matter can't be looked after by Mr. Beard at OPR. Nothing against you, Mr. Beard. But this matter can't be looked after by you. Because when you don't still have to go to the crime chief. And whatsoever you do, he got thing and send back and tell you for do this or do that or fix this or fix that. Right? So you can't investigate this matter. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Mr. Caesar, you sue me, right? You don't have to sue me again. You understand? You will have to sue me again. Because I know a lot of things about you. A lot of things. Remember, I work with you. You use me. I see little black boy, you stack and say, strong man, go over there and locate some places. We already morning raid coming up. And I's gone and do it. I remember you go always be successful. And I've been doing it from since it was Sergeant Season Party, to Inspector Season Party, and then to ASP Season Party. I know I never know in between what party was me. And I never go up on the police square and shake nobody hand and get no money. I never get nothing, but I hold it up all the time. With all the things y'all do to me. You understand? With all the things y'all do to me. The second week I go up and leave, Mr. Caesar put Mr. Bacchus for calling me and tell me I was going to lodge me firearm. I tell Mr. Bacchus, me life, I get threats on my life. I can't lodge his firearm and so on. He said, well, make contact with Mr. Caesar. When he hung up the phone shortly after, Inspector Guyana called me and tell me that I was going to lodge his firearm at TSU. Instructions that they're going to lodge his firearm. Now, because I rescued my life for the police force, and because I go up and leave, I had to go and lodge my firearm. I went and I lodged it. I applied for a firearm 2 years ago. And I never give it. I want to straighten out certain things too. After I applied for the firearm and they didn't do nothing, me and Sergeant O'Brien, he tell me the Commissioner of Police going away. And then we go and talk to him, see if he can sign everything. Because everything done do for it. I just see you approve it, Mr. P. Right? He tell me to go and see. And we went over there and the secretary tell me that he meeting come back next week. We left and we went downstairs. And the driver trying to tell Sergeant O'Brien that the commissioner coming down 5:30. And if we come back over 5:50, we could see. The sergeant, they got wrong since I didn't know why talking. I know like I could verify this. The sergeant tell me, let me go over to and say, no, man, wait till Wednesday, come, man, go no, and the man holler upon me. He said, no, the man is a man who was meet people. You understand? You could approach him. We left and we went over. And while we stand up downstairs, waiting, we see when Mr. Staff, he come downstairs. Mr. Akins walk downstairs. Mr. Akins, you're going to recall this. You walk downstairs and you see me, Sergeant O'Brien, the driver and the sentry, stand up. I went in the car now, O'Brien and the 2 sentry, we talking. And you told me, so y'all doing on here? Me, man, y'all on here, man. Watch how you move from here and you start all up on me, chase me. Right? And this is how come when Mr. Blanham said, but thing with firearm, because when the thing out, think I told you, Mr. Caesar start car wrong. O'Brien went over back to me playing cards, and he make a joke with Cosboard and tell he ended up telling Cosboard that we went for see the commissioner shot man chase me. That's what he said. And Cosboard ended up now going to tell Caesar when the thing comes to the paper and he start jumping around. You know, he trying to tell Caesar that me O'Brien went over to the commissioner Friday. Right? And he called O'Brien and asked me, what you went and tell the commissioner? What you boss come to the commissioner for? O'Brien said me, he went for check for me license gun. Right? He see O'Brien again. And so, Obi, tell me the truth, man. I mean, you good. What you know, man, went over there for? Obi said, boss, to me, the man went for check for me gun. Now, you been trying to put it in your head that me and O'Brien went and tell Mr. Affy something about you, or tell Mr. Affy something about paper shots or regular threat. Plus, the article didn't even have nothing properly inside or no waiting evidence like the things I talk out. It just said that the person threatened me or whatsoever. You understand? So all these things where I think that people say that I ain't this and I ain't that. Now, the next thing I want to address, this guy, Mud Water or something like that, who put up something about me last night or when. Yesterday, somebody called me phone, a female called me phone, and tell me she from some media house and so she working as a journalist and she wanted to talk to me so and so. So I asked her, say, which media house she from? She said she from Uncut News. Right? So I say, you from where? She said Uncut News. So I said, oh, you could be from Uncut News and call him for talk to me. When you are promoting this guy and he racing so we get coming up. You understand? Remember then I know what's going on. Right? She said, and she trying to tell me no. She tell me no. We the person have been exposing this thing of following this paper shots more than all the time and so on. And we the one that trouble this sex video with him. So I told him, man, main thing, I'm going to talk to you later. Right? No more water make a settle thing and thinking because I refused to talk to them yesterday, make the do that. You understand me? Now, Mr. Caesar. Mr. Caesar, you know that I know a lot of your dirty story. So you bother people and you come and you summons, I want you to summons me or sue me again. Mr. Rabbit, with these papers, sue me again. Right? You remember the Rasta man, Bombadi, what alligator them go and break your car, I can be $4 million. Alligator them from my coney. When them are going to catch alligator and start beating, and alligator and actually taking alligator pass back some of the money, and 1 point something you missing out to the money. And when they start beating more body turn and say Mr. Caesar got him, he say yeah, I can't get about it because Mr. Caesar got him. And the people them go to a man in the underworld, and the man talk to you, you pass back the money. You pass back the rewards the crime. I don't show me evidence already with Mark Richmond. I can't give out everything I got. I got to keep it for the inquiry. Right? For the numbers that call me. But all these men take the same liar. All these men take the same liar. Right? And I want to explain something to y'all. I challenge anybody here. I call people name, I ain't freaking nobody. I challenge anybody here to go up on Azreen Mohammed page, on the Facebook page, and check before paper shots get killed and see if he been doing all these things we doing. He started doing this thing to win the hearts of people. Watch and see the people that tease are wrong. People that just get likes. The little fat boy, Tian and all these kind of things. He's taking people that get likes and doing things for win the public with him, by the public seeing him doing good things. After he killed the man. I tell you, after he kill him, man, you kill me or you put me in jail. Right? This we doing. Right? And I got a lot more things. And I like if the next move I'm making is to an international body. And I want to tell y'all something. The reason for me to speaking out is this. After the order the canoe going to send me away. After the order the canoe to put me in the lockup. Even though Canoe know the time get in charge, I never see the drugs up to now. I ain't got fingerprint, nothing. Even though the order the Canoe for put me in the lockups and chop me picture, and all the things to do me. People tell me stay quiet, don't think, just go back to work and so on. I hold it up. Right? I hold it up. You know when I get prickled? Hey, when I get prickled. When I lie down in my bed and get a phone call and the person says, how you doing? I say, yeah, you buy good. He said, see what go on there, man, thing. He said, what hold it up though? He said, I want to tell you something. He said, these man planning for lash you up and they're going to use this thing with your picture up on Facebook. Right? They're going to use this thing with your picture up on Facebook. They're going to get somebody for lash up and it will look like if they get lash up because of drug business. Right? Because it's why they put the whole thing out there with the drugs. You understand? So they said they're going to use this thing for lash up. Lash you up means kill you, murder you. Right? And they're going to put it and they're going to put it out there as if you die for drug business. So I get up and even tell me wife nothing. I get up and I does this, and I say, what? And I hear anything. I sit down and I start studying it. They put me them out there. Right? I get lashed up and people, or I get murdered and people saying that I died from drugs. Right? My family lose me. My family gonna lose in 3 ways. Right? My family lose me. My family gonna lose me. They ain't got no justice because the thing that people gonna show that I died from this drugs thing. Right? So They ain't got no justice. And we left with a stain. So I said I got to clear this up. And that was the reason for me coming to talk out. And nobody didn't tell me to talk out nothing. I control me. All the things that do me, I've been holding it up all the time. Right? And I'd rather die. Right? I'd rather die telling the truth, but deal with the truth inside of me. Right? I'd rather die telling the truth than deal with the truth inside of me. And I get a lot more evidence and so on. Right?
Yes, mouth open story jump out. We got enough time. It's 50 minutes past 8 o'clock. How we gonna talk that stink and dirty story? Let's deal quickly with this last tip from Bascom. Let's jump to that allegation about somebody named Alligator breaking in some Rastaman car and stealing $4 million. And he was tracked to Borbies and beaten for the money. The Rastaman, according to Bascom, returned a portion of the money. And when Lex Morton, he tell them, man, I can't get all the rest because Caesar got it. That's what Bascom is alleging. Note, I want y'all to note this here. Bascom didn't say the police arrested Alligator, in this robbery. They said the people who got robbed and so on did their work and they went and they find Alligator and crew and they bust their tail for the money. Right? And when they hand over what they got, they say, we ain't got the rest, Caesar got it. Are we saying, or is Bascom saying just what he said about the paper shots murder? That 150,000 US, $30 million was paid to Caesar, allegedly. Is he alleging that Alligator and crew got Caesar on their payroll because the $1.something million was given to Caesar? Because they didn't say police. No, police did not arrest them, It's the owner for the money. And in order to get back this money, where did they go to? The underground. They deal with people in the underworld to deal with Caesar. So Bascom is alleging that Caesar got serious connections in the underworld. People responsible for investigating serious crimes are themselves involved in serious crimes. I always say it. But y'all ain't hearing it. If Ori come from bottom of river and he tell you, Alligator get teeth, believe him. Bascom is coming from in the belly of the beast. Bascom is coming from in the belly of the beast and he's telling you, he's alleging that Caesar is deeply wrapped up in corruption, but not only Caesar. He said Blanham too. Right? What do you know about Blanham? What do you know about Blanham? Who was the crime chief when the allegations were made that elements of the underworld were planning to assassinate former President David Granger? The information was passed to the Guyana police force. Who was the crime chief? No investigations were conducted. And when the bag got bust, who was the crime chief? Blanham was crime chief. And the Granger administration removed Blanham and said this man needs to go somewhere and learn to manage a police, what do they call it? A police division, I think, before he can be crime chief. They removed him as crime chief. Why? Because since then, they must have gotten dirt on him, but maybe dirt not enough to get rid of him from the Guyana police force. Rick is asking if hearsay is evidence. Hearsay is allegation. And that is why I'm saying that there is need for an international investigation into these allegations which are being made. And it shows also how this country is managed. Because here it is, Bascom is alleging that this word of whatever got to the quote-unquote vice president, and when the vice president inquired, he was told that Bascom is misbehaving, is saying these things because he wants a personal firearm. And so I'm going to put my integrity at risk. I'm going to put the integrity of the Guyana police force at risk. I'm going to put myself in danger and my family's life in danger just to get a firearm. When the older Guyana knows that police could always find a dirty gal, and most of them walk around with a dirty gal. And so even if they don't have a licensed firearm, they always get a dirty gal. That's what they call the unlicensed firearm. Dirty gal. The average police, especially those who are involved in investigations the likes of Bascom, does get a dirty gal some way. And so Caesar's word is better than the intelligence officer, Sergeant Bascom, when it comes to the vice president. Of course, because Caesar is higher up. And nobody has time with the low-level ranks. Nobody ain't got time with the quote-unquote bottom feeders. And I want members of the Guyana Police Force to recognize, young black men, especially, because you dominate the police force, I want you to recognize that after they use you, you hear him? I was the go-to boy since Caesar and them was sergeant. I was the go-to boy. Strong man do this, strong man do that. I used to do it and get it back and make them look good. But now push come to shove, he is holding the shitty end of the stick. Like the three who are currently charged in the murder of Queen and Bacchus. And there are many others. There have been many others in the past. Bascom is in the present and there will be many others in the future. There will be many others in the future. Keep that in mind. And so, young black policemen, y'all gotta start doing police work as how police work should be done. You gotta do police work like police work. Do police work according to the books. Yeah, you're going to be threatened with transfer and all of that, but one policeman said transfer is a part of the kit. Yes, sir. Morning. Nobody, and I'm on a live. I can't talk to you about it now. Good. Yes. A policeman said transfer is part of the kit, so they're going to transfer you. They're going to press you. They're going to stymie your upward mobility. But at the end of the day, you maintain your integrity as a police. Right? Why is there no call from the so-called guardians of democracy, from the Guyana Bar Association, from the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, from all of these people who say that they're full of integrity, they're the bastions of integrity and democracy? Where's Freddie Kissoon? Why aren't these people calling for an international investigation into this nasty and wicked and corrupt Guyana police force based on all of these allegations? Why not? There are more policemen and women who have stories to tell. I can tell you that. I know of people who have been charged with rape, but connected to the higher-ups at Freedom House, who were released from a particular police station in B Division. No, that's C Division. Division 4C. The night before they were to go to court the morning. Who paid for their release? Why were they released? matters involving people connected to the higher up of statutory rape, impregnating a minor, investigation and charges laid, and officers in charge instructing people to get rid of the charges and do a JP paper to save those who are connected to the higher ups. Where is the law and order in this country? How can we get better? How will we get better? As our people like to say, it's the same cats, the poos we going through. We went through it in the early 2000s. Going to used to call it the time of the troubles. We're right back there. And we have gotten there in less than 2 years. Just as how the PPP is continuing the malpractice in government from the 2000s, the criminal and the world is continuing their misbehavior from the 2000s. Citizens can't feel protected. People can't trust the justice system. And somebody raised a matter with me the other day. And I don't want you all to feel that I personally got anything against the Mohammeds or the Caesars or the Blanhams of this world. I say to you all every morning on this program, my interest is in a better quality of life for Guyanese because we deserve better. Right? That's my interest. You can know who might be a deputy police commissioner accused of sexual misconduct with junior ranks at the Guyana Felix Austin Police Training College. Recommendations seem to be charged criminally. But he is promoted and he is perhaps a deputy commissioner now. You got a set of misfits from the top to perhaps, well, the whole Guyana police force, except, you know, they say the higher you fly, the more your backside get exposed. And so you sing the dirty deeds of those who are at the top better than the dirty deeds of those who are below. But the fact is the Guyana police force from top to bottom has a set of miscreants. There's some good men and women. But they are forced to stay silent. And they have been silent for too long. And what will happen if they remain silent for too long? They become complicit. And so when the bad water gets in throat, they too might gotta go. They too might have to go. I know you're supposed to perhaps get a set of actors running the Guyana police force because that entire top brass should be sent on administrative leave and an international investigation order. Ramrati Asaram, or is Asram. Look like Ramrati Asram. What nonsense you're talking about? You were there for 5 years. What did you do? Shame on you. Just assuming I was there for 5 years. The Guyana police force was becoming a professional outfit. I always sit back and I muse on these things. Because under the Granger administration, which you're intimating, for that so-called 5 years, extrajudicial killing was a thing of the past almost. But you know what is instructional? Is despite the fact that extrajudicial killings came down to zero, or almost zero, more crimes were being solved. More crimes were being solved. And let us not lose sight of an allegation which is made by Bascom in his recording. His photograph was put out there and associated with drugs because the intention was to murder him. Ranks of the Guyana police, it was being hatched, a plan was being hatched by members of the very Guyana police force that he serves to out his life, to murder him and associate his death with drugs and the criminal underworld. Have you heard, or does this take you back to any such things in the past? They say Badman Fraser was murdered by the Guyana police force. It is alleged. It is alleged that he was not playing game with the criminal underworld. It was a deal gone sour. It was a deal gone sour. It is alleged. And he get dusted and they say somebody from the bad by the Taliban, as they call them back in those times, who outed his light. There are many, many occurrences of police allegedly being involved in the murder of their own. Because they got to a point where they knew too much and they couldn't be trusted anymore to hold on to the secret. I remember Kazerki. Man died from mystery in a hospital bed. Right? Citizens, we must demand an international investigation. This story must not be made to go away. The alleged murder, well, not alleged murder, the murder of Paper Shots is just but one chapter. In this anthology, it's just but one chapter, you know. People will tell you this is a New York bestseller. It's like it's a modern day version of what? The Godfather, Serpico, all of these stories of police corruption and the underworld being brought together right here again in front of your eyes. And that intermixed with oil money and excessive wealth floating around in this country. Can you imagine the conundrum that this country is going to be in? Should this be left to pass? I'm not a specialist on Jamaica, but look at Jamaica. A mixture of politicians and corruption and drugs and so on. Look at Jamaica. Step across the neighboring Trinidad. Is Trinidad more the capital of the Caribbean right now? I'm not sure, but I know the murder rates are very high. When you consider, for example, and I'm going to say this and then we're going to open up the lines. Prior to being installed as president of this country, the Fat Guy's security detail and transportation was provided for by the family of this man who it is alleged masterminded the murder of Paper Shards, or the murder that resulted in I don't know, masterminded the plan that resulted in the murder of Paper Shards, because people argue it was Roger Khan who was intended to be the target. Right? So it is alleged that a friend of the now sitting president was involved in masterminding a murder. In which other country would the president's friend be accused of murder and the citizens don't kick up a stink to find out what really happening in the country? Huh? I've been saying to friends up to last evening, I'm not afraid for Mr. Bascom. I am more afraid for this country than I am afraid for Mr. Bascom. Because as an intelligence officer, I expect Mr. Bascom would act intelligently. That's all I'm saying. I expect Mr. Bascom to act intelligently. And therefore, when he did that last video in a vehicle, my assumption was that he was on the move. That's all I will say. Lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. 6225933 is the number to call. You tune to the Buxtonian Morning Time. We're talking the thing. I'm only analyzing information which is in the public domain. Who vex lose? The likes of Nirvana. Nirvana is supposed to be something pleasant, is it? Nirvana, isn't Nirvana supposed to be something pleasant? At least I think so. But we got dirty stinking Nirvana. Caller, you there? I think we gotta start over. Anyhow, let me take this one and see. Alright, I missed the calls now. Good. We're ready to start. Let's go. 6225933 is the number to call. So Trinidad is the number 2 murder capital of the Caribbean, following the Bahamas, Jamaica number 3, Barbados. Yes, Barbados is number 4. That's what they're telling me. Right? Y'all think y'all in good company? Call it live, good morning.
Morning, Kadaki, and morning, Guyana. Mafia, criminal. I mean, there's no explaining what's happening in Guyana. It's just corruption top to bottom, all departments. So, for Guyanese, I'm not sure you guys are able to come back from that unless you get rid of everybody. I mean, that's what it's going to take. What you have just explained and what Mr. Bascom have just talked about is possibly just small tip of the iceberg when it comes to crime interwoven with the government officials. It's ridiculous. And the ABC countries and all the guardians of democracy keep their mouth shut because they don't want to skin up the government that they support. We are catching up to Trinidad and Jamaica, and eventually we will surpass them. Because with the money awash comes more criminal elements. And basically, you have, in my opinion, a weak opposition and weak people in Guyana that simply have just turn their head and say what we can do. They can do a lot. Go out there and protest each and every friggin' day. Because all of these allegations, it just drops off eventually. Nothing is brought and nothing is seen through from start to beginning. And so on and so on and so on. I mean, how much times we have talked about government official, and recently the one who dodged the roadblock, and because he's a member of parliament, he got off. The country is just a criminal enterprise, and whoever have top clearance and security and government officials, it simply means nothing. Because they can get away with it, and they have been getting away with it. So guess what? For Guyanese, if you believe it's going to get better, hell no. And are they going to do any investigation? Hell no. And Guyana is teetering on being a failed state. And that's my take.
Thank you. A lot of us are drinking soup and minding our own business. Right? A lot of us drinking soup and minding our own business. We so caught up in wanting soup that we don't care where it is coming from. Right? According to the good Christians, the Bible says, do not partake in what? Things that have been offered up to the devil. Is that what they say? I can't remember. I don't know the book good, you know. But in short, many of us go and we accept these things. Because we nyami. And we wanty. But many of us don't ask ourselves, where is the source of this goodness? Why is the source? What is the source of this goodness? Where is this goodness springing from? Especially if it is sudden. Lots of us don't care. We just want soup. Right? But while some people are giving you soup to cleanse themselves of their unrighteousness, you are imbibing. You are consuming. Cornelia, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki. Good morning, everyone in the diaspora. The caller just called and made some excellent points. Mr. Boston, Sergeant Boston of the CID, I think it is. Boscombe, yes, Mr. Boscombe. Now, you know, we've been asking. Now, first of all, a lot of us may say, man, he's a police and we don't want to support police. Well, let us rationale for a second. Let's reason for a second. It's not a matter of supporting the police. It's a matter of supporting an alternative and possibly the truth. For those of us who want to support Mr. Boston, I encourage you to support the truth or the possibility of the truth, which Mr. Boston is now giving us an alternative. So that's what we want to support. If Mr. Boscombe has done wrong in the past, well, we will deal with that, and the Constitution will deal with that in proper context. But for right now, Mr. Boscombe has given us an alternative from a acting CID investigator. And that is worthwhile contemplating for the veracity and the accuracy and the credibility for what that alternative presents. Now, the preponderance of the evidence. There is the preponderance standard of evidence. And it seems to be leaning more on the side of establishing the accuracy of truth that Mr. Boscombe is saying. Whether or not we know it's the truth or not, it's the preponderance of what he has already said, together with the facts that do line up, the facts that already line up outside of a courtroom, sufficient enough to cause Muhammad and them and Caesar and them who understand law to feel that they need to sue him. Well, how does it look to us? Muhammad is concerned. What is he so concerned about? Well, he's got to concern himself about a lot of things that the technology is going to reveal. Or the technology has already revealed. You see. And that's what they worried about. So what we got to do is we got to support Mr. Boscombe on the precedent of truth. We ain't supporting falsehood. We ain't supporting police skullduggery. We're standing with Mr. Boscombe on truth. Because the people of Guyana deserve the truth, and the truth that protects the oppressed. It seems to me based upon the evidence how it's lining up, that Caesar name is lining up just like Godrat's name, or Commissioner Green's name, or Roger Khan's name. That's how it seems like, based upon the evidence. They got two courts. They got a court of public opinion, and they got the courts in the High Court. And we're listening. Once again, Mr. Bascom, wherever you are, thank you for revealing this side, or your side, of the story. And the people ultimately will decide.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you for listening.
Let's go to ask the question, what should Mohammed be concerned about? Or what is he concerned about to cause him to so quickly file a lawsuit? I would have been concerned about my image. I would have been concerned about my image. And so I have an image to protect. Why would I allow some low-life policeman to tarnish it? And I'm the crime chief. Why would I allow some low-rank policeman to tarnish my image and affect my chances of upward mobility? I would have sued too. But are we saying that Puna is the only lawyer who can handle a lawsuit in this country? Or are we saying that it's one person paying for all the lawsuits? Hold on, y'all check with the one. Y'all want the one out. Y'all do the maths. Punai already got a big lawsuit on his hand. By the way, Punai is there a law firm named Punai and Punai? Is it a firm or is it an individual? I want to find that out. Because if as an individual, a man as important and as loved in this society as Mohammed approaches me to take on a lawsuit, I don't want no other case to hinder that. Right? I don't want a case of no low-life crime chief. He can't afford to pay me. Or a bodyguard. He can't afford to pay me. Why taking their case and I get a multi-billionaire case to handle? I dedicate all my energy to the multi-billionaire case. Unless they could match his money. Or unless he got them covered. I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. Call your life. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. With all the things coming out of the police, I don't like them. But when you look at the Shonet Bollard problem, when the police stand aloof, and now with this man here, this other police, you have got to want to know why. And to the things that this man is spilling, he is just as what you say, in the belly of the beast. And he has got to know what he's been saying. And coming back to our slogan, pressure bust pipe. And with this police, it is pressure bust pipe that has him revealing all what he's revealing. Anyway, the last time I could remember on Friday, when someone called in and said that
last one there. Somebody is saying that Bascom can be given certain immunities and protection, reduced sentence and so on for cooperation. Am I reading it right? I hope so. Yeah, while over. I won't trust my dog that has information on the Guyana police force with the Guyana police force. Like, y'all don't understand these things. Guyana is a mysterious murder capital. You will die in police custody. An inmate can stab you with some, what they call them? Something they make out of toothbrush. Or you're going to find lighter sponge and light yourself a fire. Or you might use the elastic from your underwear and hang yourself. But at the end of the day, you're going to end up dead in the custody of the Guyana police force. In another territory, I would have believed that it was possible that the military would have stepped in and kept Mr. Bascom safe. But the military is just as weakened and corrupt as the police force. In other countries where the government was getting in bed with the criminal underworld and so on, the military would have stepped in and streamlined them. But not in this country. So why y'all think that they could protect, or they would protect Bascom? As a matter of fact, a man who has been brought back to the military was allegedly found with Roger Cannon in the spy laptop. Y'all remember him? He was accused of torture. So if the military has such people who have been in bed with the criminal underworld, why do you think an informant such as Bascom should turn to them for protection? I don't know. I big, but I ain't stupid. And Bascom is an intelligence officer, so I hope he acts intelligently. Caller Live, good morning. Caller Live, good morning.
Quickly, I think this issue here that been raised by that sergeant of police, Bascom, I think the opposition have a duty to start to call for a serious investigation or a COI or something here. Something needs to be done, and the only source to get that on its way, or to put some sort of importance, is the opposition. You know, they wouldn't listen to the people, or they wouldn't have nobody. The citizens would not come out and make that demand. The opposition will have to. The police force, yes, dirty, but I think it's gone to the worst right now. I think it's hit low bottom. Nobody should trust that police force anymore. As far as I'm concerned, that thing is just a standing object. Have no relevance. Period. You know, and all of this didn't come as a surprise, because if it starts from the top, the way how they get into office, everything was expected to spiral out of control. That's how it works. That's how our systems work. If you don't follow the rules, you're trying to beat or crook the rules. This what's normally be the result. Now, for that person that asks you if hearsay is evidence, yes, hearsay is evidence. You have three evidence. You have direct evidence, circumstantial evidence, and hearsay evidence. Mostly the police force deals with circumstantial. Most of the cases are circumstantial. So that's my take for this morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon. You know, I had a thought back to, y'all heard, what's his name mentioned, sex video? Bascom mentioned a sex video. I wonder if it's the same sex video I'm thinking about. Well, if that sex video is what resulted in all of this conundrum, sex is a mighty powerful and corrupting tool. Y'all remember about, what, maybe a year or so, Roger Cannon had cause to go to the police to report the circulation of, or the posting of a sex video? If that's the video that Bascom is referring, sex is a mighty corrupting tool. Look how much chaos that thing creates. Anyways, it's 6 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. I'm sure I got some voice notes to play. Let me look for them. Like they want to load. I got one there.
Mr. Kadaki, good morning to you. Now, let me just say something. The opposition of a country, you do not have to go to the university to know this, have a lot of power. Because they have little over half of the population that voted for these people in. And I cannot safely see them sitting idly by and all these things going on, and they're just taking it as if they do not have no power at all. You understand? If they do not have no power, well, give up the whatever, because all these things, for instance, with this policeman, they should have done call for FBI and international investigation. Everybody out on the street calling for it. Because this will not stop if we continue to lay as if we cannot do anything at all. They can do stuff. They are not handicapped. Let the opposition come out and get this thing in order. Call in the international people and everything. People should be in the streets. This thing will not stop. What is the opposition doing in Guyana? Where is Guyana going? My God. Thank you.
Call it live, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Brother Kadaki. Good morning to all the viewers and listeners. You talk about this point, about the situation, the crime situation that's going on. You mentioned deja vu. But the thing is, it does seem like deja vu indeed. But when you look at it, it can be a coincidence that a crime lord was sent to prison for many years, and that crime lord who was sent to prison, he was operating under the legal protection of the state of Guyana, the government of Guyana. At least so he claimed, and at least so it seemed. And after he was sent to prison, someone else decided to step up and take his place. The person who took his place even went as far as taking his woman. And I mean, that's the case for another situation, another story. But I'm just mentioning that because to show the similarity here. And how it's really not a coincidence that these things are happening. Because this person is operating in the same manner. He has an army of black people, black men, going around the place killing other black men, and some minorities too, and some other people as well. And he is being protected by the government of Guyana. So it is deja vu, and it's a hell of a coincidence. But I would like people to see what is going on, to realize that it's a same thing is happening, and it is happening for some serious reason. And the reason is not good. So we need to wake up. We need to wake up and see what's going on, and see that these people are controlling this entire country, and they're using certain forces in the country to kill us and quiet the few that they had controlled before in the armed forces, and once those few, they can't control them anymore, they're trying to kill them too. So we need to come out in our droves. We need to start protesting again, protesting until next election, and so we can have change in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. You know what's the funny thing? Y'all are quick to say that the opposition controls more than 50% or almost 50% of the support of the people in this country. But when the opposition say that we're going to protest, you don't even see 10%. We all just tell people really. Or as them boys say, what y'all could tell me? Eh? What y'all really could tell me, man? Y'all know me. I just call a spade. Good? I do that all the time. Yes, the opposition represents a large percentage of the populace. But is the populace, the large percentage of the populace standing behind the opposition? That's the question.
My brother.
Good morning, you're live.
Yes, my brother. I wanted to say something. And in this whole country know this thing. why do we run away from the fact that the police force is corrupt? The police force corrupt long now. When Blanham get moved and they put the other man, the crime chief, all the PPP government go back in power to put back Blanham. They have the reason why they want these people in there. So let me stop pussyfooting and know that we got to stay focused. That's all I want to tell you. Thank you.
Thank you. The caller say y'all know, but y'all playing blind. Kerry Perry seems to be personal friends with Roger Khan. I don't know y'all, I don't know y'all, I don't want to know y'all. I am in my corner. Tomorrow or some other time we're going to talk about the drunken out of control minister government. Ah. Where is thing there, man? I'm looking for the voice notes. Not loading. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for me to go, right? But I want to play your voice notes. Because it seems like everybody got another angle on this story. We can't let the story go away, you know. And you're saying the opposition, you know. Let me take some credit here. I'm a member of the opposition. I'm WPA. I'm calling for an international investigation into this thing. See, I don't think it's PNC alone.
I am very grateful to God, and I'm very thankful and give God all the honor and the glory that He deserves, Almighty God, Abba Father, in the Holy Spirit. I am so grateful and thankful for those who are in the body of Christ, those church or pastors and deacons and leaders, the ones them who are fasting and praying for the deliverance of this nation, for evil and demonic forces and wicked evil doers to come to light, that everything dark to come to light. And I want to thank God for such. Mr. Kadaki, as I said before, and I'm reminding the rest of the Guyanese nation, we have to go into fasting and praying and allow the Holy Spirit to take control over every evil power that is in this land and bring everything that is in darkness into light. And this is where we're going to destroy. This is about kingdom warfare. It's about spiritual warfare that manifesting in the physical realm. So these things that are manifesting is going to come up, and there are many more things that is going to surface. But the kingdom of darkness do not give up its position. That's why we call it spiritual warfare. And so we who are in the spiritual realm has to pray to God faithfully, loyally, and submit our spiritual beings to God, that allow God to take control over this nation. So once again, Mr. Kadake, I understand what you're saying, that criminals can protect criminals, but it's something far above the criminal protecting the criminals. His kingdom do not war against themselves, whether they are evil in the police force, whether they are in the army, whether they are in the ruling party or the opposition party, they are all over. And so we are going to be warring against the wicked and the evildoers in the kingdom of darkness, so the kingdom of light can stand up with the people who are in the kingdom of righteousness, God righteousness, not self-righteousness. Guyanese have a blessed day. We are getting there. We will get there by the grace of God. No power is above the power of God Almighty. Guyanese have a blessed day. Keep on praying, and God work in mysterious way. He will use who He have to use, in what way He choose to use them. Everything isn't going to come to light, but there will be a battle in between where the devil going to want flesh and blood. And we, the children of God, got to war against principalities and powers and the rules of this dark world, the wickedness in the high places. People, read Ephesians 6:10. Study Ephesians 6:10, and then guard yourself and your family in the blood of Jesus. Have a blessed day, Guyana. The word of Abba Father say, the love or the craving for money is the root of all evil. And anyone who have the love or the craving over money money in their mind and their heart can be bought or can be sold, regardless of which position they are in society, regardless of who they are or who they be. They can be bought or they can be sold as long as the price is right. Guyana have oil right now. We have oil money. And the ruling party have control over that money. So what to expect, what Guyana expect, and what Guyanese are expecting, only God Almighty can save and deliver and protect us from all evil.
Lines remain open. I think I can take another call or two. I'm looking for these voice notes that didn't play. I don't know why some people's voice notes don't play on my computer.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. I don't know what's happening in Guyana. It seems to me that Guyana has become a banana republic. If law enforcement, the hierarchy in law enforcement is so corrupt, so what if
call it live.
Hello?
Call it live.
Hi, good morning, Kadaki. The point I want to make is that I was wondering how come they didn't give 007 that case to represent them. Secondly, I was wanting to know that okay, we had this rally at the Burnham place there, and I want to know, you know, like if we give it up, when is it next? When is the next rally? You know,
soon enough.
When we should expect something. When we should expect something.
Soon enough.
Yeah.
I'm calling you asking why 007 wasn't given the case. You think I can spend the good money on mediocrity? Have a good day. Goodbye. Listen, that's a wrap. It's 7 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock hour. I'm tired of hurting people's feelings. It's time to go. When I start to get like that, I need to go. Okay? I'm about to leave, but a good friend of mine has asked me to dedicate this one to Vikram Bharat, the minister that was allegedly drunk and disorderly. This one is a Boja Banton. Anybody see Vikram, tag him. Driver, don't stop at all.
I want you carry this on the road for me. And don't take no time from the body. Just do what me tell you for the same stand. And make sure say everything work according to all man, everything for work. See? Take back yourself and bring back yourself in a one piece. Make sure see you ready. Hear me? Lord of mercy. Hey, Lord of his mercy. Lord of mercy. Driver. Don't stop at all. Stop this around an album all. Driver. Don't even itch, collect a little food there and come back quick.
I understand, listen, y'all don't throw shades at Vikram Bharat. I understand the man was auditioning. Because Boja Banton is looking for a new driver. So he was auditioning, he was showing his don't stop a stall skill. Hey, big up yourself, Vikram. I understand you're in the forerunner. You're one of the front runners to the position. Driver,
just remember the damn speed limit. Cause if you're running the fence, my friend, that is it. I've got an Excel phone and a singular chip. Any problem you can reach me on this. I pounds them and buy when a tons man a ship. Green like grass, brown like chocolate. FedEx and UPS I make several trip. And me life savings and right on this. You can drink and beer but don't you dare burn a split. This ain't the marijuana make you.
Driver! Don't stop at all! Y'all come down to Twilight.
We're taking over!
Hi, sporting fans. It's here. Club Twilight is now open. Check us out on Sideline Dam, north side of the public road. All weekend, starting 6 o'clock this evening. 4 banks beer, $1,000. 5 GT beers, $1,000. Come and enjoy a spanking new and comfortable atmosphere. Popular music and popular DJs. Cutters on fleet. Yes, Club Twilight, your new entertainment zone. Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Come out and have a blast from 6 o'clock this evening. The weekend has started.
Ravens, we're taking over! Ravens, we're taking over!
Hi, sporting fans. It's here. Club Twilight is now open. Check us out on Sideline Dam, north side of the public road. All weekend, starting 6 o'clock this evening. 4 banks beer, $1,000. 5 GT beers, $1,000. Come and enjoy a spanking new and comfortable atmosphere. Popular music and popular DJs. Cutters on fleet. Yes, Club Twilight, your new entertainment zone. Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Come out and have a blast from 6 o'clock this evening. The weekend has started.
Down to mercy,
we're taking over.
Down on His mercy, down to mercy. Driver, don't stop at all. Drop this Arizona round a Albemarle. Driver, don't even itch. Collect a little food there and come back quick. Driver, just remember the damn speed limit. Cause if you're running the fence, my friend, that is it. I've got an Nextel phone and a singular chip. Any problem you can reach me on this. I pounds them and buy when a tons man a ship. Green like grass, brown like chocolate.
Why y'all telling Vikram Bhatt, driver, don't stop at all? Here's Sparrow for him, drunk and disorderly. Whoa! I should be going, why am I still on this program?
Drink and drunk, yes, nice me and name. Always make me family shame. Like Marianne all day, all night. And staggering high like a kite. It's Christmas, every day is Christmas. I could bring me wrong trust, give me belly lunch. I love to be drunk and disorderly. Always in custody, with friends and the family. Always fed up with me because I'm drunk and disorderly. Every weekend I'm in the jail. Drunk and disorderly, nobody to stand me there. Hey. Can't stop, Lord, and I won't try. I feel so good when I high. So bring wine, bring beer, bring gin. Bring champagne, ink, anything. Night time, daytime in the sunshine. Anytime is right time. So bring me high wine until I get drunk and disorderly. Always in custody, with friends and family. All man fed up with me cause I'm drunk and disorderly. Every weekend I'm in the jail. Drunk and disorderly, nobody to stand me there. never teach me wrong control. So put as long me glass could hold. They say a hungry man's a angry man, but a drunken man's a happy man. Good Friday could fall on Ash Wednesday, as long as it's wrong day, I ain't going nowhere until I get drunk and disorderly. Always in custody, with friends and family. All man fed up with me cause I'm drunk and disorderly. Every weekend I in the jail, drunk and disorderly. Nobody to stand me in for me. Living good run for Christmas is way. It's to open it now and take a taste. I say break the seal, don't waste me time, and bring it with a will in mind. You feel good, you stay in a happy mood. Rum give you vitamin and nourishment and food. It's nice to be drunk and disorderly.
Drunk and disorderly. Now, if you are sober around 4 o'clock this afternoon and you are from Victoria, we are going to be meeting with the residents of Victoria on the Victoria West Sideline Dam. Yes, when I say we, I put myself in the people business. The vice chairman, regional vice chairman, and regional chairman for Region 4 RDC are scheduled to meet with the residents of Victoria West Sideline Dam today at 4 o'clock. So if you are from Victoria and you are sober and not drunk and disorderly, you can come down and join that meeting, okay? So yes, join the meeting with the vice chairman and the regional vice chairman at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's 4 or 4:30. 4 o'clock is a safe bet. Better early than never. Yes, so you come at 4 o'clock. The vice chairman, regional vice chairman are likely to be there with the residents of Victoria West Sideline Dam. The residents of Victoria East Sideline Dam also will be joining them. And so if you're from Victoria, you're from Central, you're any part of Victoria, and you're concerned with what's happening in Victoria, you should just come across. Don't come across and let your voices be heard. The engineer might also be down there. Oh gosh, Victoria got some terrible infrastructure. Like poles and telephone poles falling into the canals and so on, and the road taking a run into the canal. And, well, I don't even know if you call it road, I should say the dams. The bridges are no bridges. You can hardly walk on them, much less drive. Oh gosh, that place is in a mess. Don't be surprised if you were to do a survey and find out that the Victorian community is perhaps one of the most depressed, if not the most depressed, in this dear country of ours that is pumping oil and nobody is feeling it. Have a good day. Join, well, it's Monday. You should be joining Dr. Hinds tonight for Politics 101. Or does he come on Tuesday? Oh, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. Tonight we're supposed to be having Day Clean. Yes, so join me and other comrades, other friends, other members of the Working People's Alliance tonight, 6:30 for another program of Day Clean. I wonder what we're going to be talking about. Y'all could wonder. But join Day Clean at 6:30 this evening as the Working People's Alliance shares its thoughts and concerns with you. Goodbye. Stay safe. Remember, Club Twilight is open from 6 o'clock daily, and they got some good stuff down there for you. 4 banks beer for $1,000 all week long. 5 GT beer for $1,000 all week long. They got cutters in the form of chicken and fish and y'all like foreign thing, calabresa from Brazil and so on. So come down there. Have a good time. Come for the cheapness. You'll enjoy the atmosphere. And if you get drunk and disorderly, you can rent a room at Lou's B&B and just sleep